Bet the Breeders' Cup with the DRF app. The Daily Racing Form app is a highly rated, powerful tool that makes handicapping and wagering fast and easy, putting you in position to win big at the races. Register today to double your first deposit up to $250. Get the DRF app now. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. We kick off Saturday's Breeders' Cup portion of the program with race number 4, the Filly and Mare Sprint. Here's the field. You're going to notice that the 2, Estio Talentoso, has already been withdrawn. That leaves us with only a field of 5 for this 7/8 of a mile test, and probably the short field due in part to Gamine, last year's winner and a dominant sprinter throughout her career.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm struggling to come up with a reason why nobody really entered this race. I guess if you're looking for the silver lining, Dan, you do have Gamine, who is the defending champion and the clear leader of this division, and you have Bella Sophia, who's the best 3-year-old sprinter in the country.
And they both have early speed. As we throw up the Timeform US pace projector, you'll note that Bella Sophia expected to be a little quicker than Gamine from the gate. It's going to be very interesting to see how John Velasquez on Gamine, Luis Saez on Bella Sophia, they play the break.
Yeah, I'll predict how they're going to play the break. John Velasquez is going to the lead with Gamine. We'll see if Bella Sophia goes after her right from the start, or if she tries to sit off her just a little bit early and then attack her on the turn. Gamine's going to the front.
A pace battle, if Bella Sophia decides to engage Gamine, would help the rest of the field. The longest shot on the board, the number 1 Proud Emma, was graded stakes place behind Edgeway at 12-1 on the morning line in the Rancho Bernardo 2 starts back. Last time out in the Chillingworth, however, didn't break very well, but just no match for CC. The pace wasn't fast that day. She could get a better setup here.
Yeah, maybe the 2 favorites will hook it up for her and let her come and pick up a piece of this thing for maybe third at best. It feels like she's really hard to make win this race. I'm actually a pretty big fan of hers. I think she could potentially get into third, but I can't see her winning.
I'm a fan of the 3 Edgeway. She's won 5 of 8. She's only been off the board once in her career. Let's watch her last start, the aforementioned Rancho Bernardo, where she got the better of Proud Emma on the lead throughout Edgeway. She wins this race in game fashion. She's just a little bit slow on the figs, Mike, and now you're dealing with a situation where she's off 2.5 months, but she might be in a prime tracking position behind the speeds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of hers too. She does clearly have to take a pretty big step forward here. You mentioned that she's only been off the board once in her career. That was the only time that she faced Gamine 2 starts back. She tried to race her, and she paid the price. So I guess this time they'll try to sit and let somebody else do the dirty work and see if she can take a step forward.
Millionaire CC, the number 4 grade 1 class. She won the Apple Blossom going 2 turns in 2020. Now, she tried Gamine 2 starts back in the Ballerina. She didn't run really well, but that was also a race that Gamine controlled on the front end. There wasn't a ton of pace. It seemed like speed did well. She bounced out of that race, and there were no Gamines in the Chillingworth. Let's watch what CC did in her final Breeders' Cup prep, a race in which she sat a nice trip off the speeds. She swings to the outside, and it's just a morning workout for CC after that. She is the one, I think, if you like her, you're hoping that Gamine, Bella Sophia hook up, tire themselves out, and she kicks on, because I think 7/8 is okay for her.
Yeah, it's certainly possible that she falls into that trip. And maybe, the 3-year-olds will be able to soften Gamine up a little bit in here and set the race up for somebody else. I don't know, Dan. I just had a tough time looking at the race that way. I was a big fan of CC's early on. I know that she's won 2 out of her last 3. I'm not thrilled with her form since they cut her back.
Gamine has won 9 of 10, the only loss coming in the Kentucky Oaks at a distance a bit too far for her. And while she's 4 for 4 this year, and in those 4 races, all grade 1s, including 2 all greatest stakes, 2 grade 1s, she's looked good. But she might not have looked as good as she did in 2020. Maybe we were spoiled by the 2020 version of Gamine, because here's her last race, the Ballerina, a 104 by her effort. She beats CC. She beats 3 next out winners in this race. And yet, I guess if you're trying to nitpick it, you're going to say, well, maybe she just didn't look as good as she would have in her prior races from 2020.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably been the case in all of her races this year. She just hasn't looked quite as good as she did as a 3-year-old. She still wins this race very easily, though. No trouble making the early lead in here, just sort of doled out her speed around the turn. She doesn't blast this field through the stretch, but she was never in any danger of losing. It's interesting, though. 3 grade 1s wins last year as a 3-year-old. Her buyers were 110, 110, 108. She's won 2 graded ones this year with a 99 and a 104. She doesn't seem like she's as good, but listen, maybe the competition's just not as good this year, Dan. She's just doing what she has to do.
Bella Sophia is the best 3-year-old filly dirt sprinter in the country by virtue of her victory in the Test, the most prestigious race of the division. After that race, she took on older horses in the Gallant Bloom. She was 2-5. She looked like a 2-5 shot, winning with a 102 buyer. Let's watch Bella Sophia go 6.5 in the Gallant Bloom. She utilized her excellent speed to get to the front, and they were never getting her. You see, she beats Lake Avenue, who's back in third at this point, the horse that finished second to Gamine. Bella Sophia walloped Lake Avenue here.
Yeah, she really did. As if it wasn't Lake Avenue's best performance, but still, Bella Sophia just wallops this field. A very easy win. I like the way she finishes her races, Dan. To me, that's the best thing about her. She has good early speed to get herself up close, but she really runs through the stretch. I liked her winning the Test 2-back. I thought she won obviously very easily there. It feels like there's still even better to come for this horse. I don't know if she can beat Gamine or not, Dan, but I feel like she's the only one who has a real chance to beat her. And I think she's a really interesting horse in here.
That's where you're going as we take a look at our selections for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Bella Sophia, lots of upside potential. It's possible we have yet to see her best race. Drawing outside of Gamine gives jockey Luis Saez options. I'm more bullish on CC than you are. I think there is a chance that she can fall into a trip, that this pace could heat up at some time, and maybe Bella Sophia's inexperience, and maybe if Gamine is a bit over the top, works against her. But I'm going to need her to drift in price, and I'm not sure it's going to happen in such a short field. 4-6-5-3 for me, 6-5-1-3 for Mike. It's the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, Saturday at Del Mar.